My name is Brennan Forrester. I play keys in the band Evanoff. I studied recording arts and music production at CU Denver with an emphasis in jazz piano. I would absolutely recommend the Sound Formation Music Teaching Certification to anybody who's wanting to get started in music education or somebody who's already has a base but just wants to get deeper with their students. I think it's one of the best ways to reach students with more complex rhythmic ideas and musical ideas, but in a way that's like really attainable. For me, it's just set a really good foundation of communication, talking about these musical concepts. And I think that's valuable for any musician or teacher. My relationship with music has gotten even deeper. Like it's my thing that I love the most, and it's changed in such a profound and positive way. I feel like for so long I was focused on notes, chords, harmony, the things that are apparent in the world of piano, but I was ignoring the other half of my favorite thing. So I guess I'm just looking at music in an entirely new light, and I'm connecting with it in a better way now. Absolutely. As a musician, I was like, man, it is a lot of money there. That's a big investment. But the return on it, not only in terms of money that I've been able to make now as a musician, which is very, very gratifying, but just I don't know, you can't really put a price on seeing somebody's reaction when they finally get something and you see them light up and they really enjoy that concept musically. So yeah, it's paid for itself over already. I'd say that it has helped me, connect with rhythm in a way that I had an experience or had a relationship with music, like with harmony and notes. Now I have that with rhythm. I think it comes from the defined emotional part of it, and now rhythm has this emotional impact that I'm more aware of. Being able to hear exactly what did and didn't get translated as I'm teaching someone, like seeing what parts of a concept that they understood and what parts just need a little bit of work. I guess in other people's playing in mind, what the mistakes are exactly, what's the difference between the goal and what's coming out. Before, if I had played a rhythm, unintentionally or incorrectly, I could be aware of that, but I didn't know what it was. I just knew what I wanted to get. And now, after studying with the rhythm compass and the rest of the sound formation methods, I know what the mistake was. It's just as clear as the idea that I attempted. So then it's just a slight adjustment, and then I'm there. I mean, just the way that I'm hearing music now. I feel like I was very downbeat centric. Before I could really feel like the pulse or the kick drum, and I knew that groove was there. But now that I'm hearing all these other parts that are happening between the downbeat, it makes listening to music more enjoyable. I definitely feel it more internally, which just feels great. Anybody who enjoys listening to music, I think, would love it if they had a third ear, so to speak, or had this other way of making it even more emotionally impactful. And now I'm getting just as excited about rhythm as I used to about harmony, which is really cool for me. I think that I love it and that it's attainable and that it's something that just isn't focused on enough in other teaching methods or any way that I was taught music. It is something that can be learned, and then you can enjoy it once you have it. And it's something to strive for. Yes, yeah, definitely. I think prior to studying the sound formation method, I could read through something well enough to be able to play it, but there wasn't really that understanding of the meaning of the rhythm and the meaning of the feeling of the rhythm. That different groupings of 16th notes have totally different emotional values. And now when I'm reading it on the page, it's like I can almost feel it before I play it, which is even cooler than being able to hear it before I play it. There's a difference there for me now. So I felt like before I was limited to the rhythms that I would play naturally, or the things that would just kind of fall out, but now I have more control in choosing the rhythms that I want to say, much like I would have control choosing the words as opposed to just putting random syllables out that I knew. And I think another, not only did it expand my vocabulary, but being able to, recognize the same rhythm and that specific feeling at different speeds, and noticing that the same rhythm, even if it's played, half as fast, twice as fast, it has a very similar emotional characteristic. It's just happening at a different rate. So the structure of the method it's rooted in feel and like a clear conceptualization of different rhythms, something that you can picture in your mind really easily, shapes that are familiar to you. So it helps these sounds that we've heard but never really knew how to organize. Now all those things become a lot more clear what those rhythms are. I like how it starts at, how do I say, like a fundamental, not rudimentary, but a fundamental. Those rhythms become the most important thing, and that's what you learn first. As a musician who already, had a relationship with music, it helped me redefine my connection with those more fundamental types of rhythms. And then once that's really solid, exploring into, how it progresses from level 2 to level 3, level 4, and you get different types of shapes, different ways to manipulate the shapes, augment them, take things out of them, and then you start playing really cool syncopations. I guess it just helped me understand how all of these advanced rhythms are rooted in the fundamental ones being really solid and being specific. I think I might have said this last time, but the fact that like notes on the staff don't get introduced until a fair way into level 1, I really think that gives the opportunity for somebody who doesn't have a sight reading background to feel more comfortable, and for somebody who does have a sight reading background to kind of just like break that out of that shell for a little bit and just to hear and feel and play music. I guess there's a few that come to mind where it's just kind of cool how they start playing pretty advanced things, but to them, because they've spent time with the method, it feels really comfortable. So I'm seeing kids play like a bar of 5, a bar of 3, a bar of 3, and a bar of 4. And that's the thing that they came up with over the weekend. They're like, look at what I did. And I was like, that sounds really cool and what's going on. And they can explain it to me just as well as I can hear it. And that's been really, really interesting. For the adult students especially, I've noticed just like a similar thing that I went through, which is like a reappreciation of simple rhythms and being concise and precise, and the difference that those little variations in timing do make in the way that music feels and the way that we feel when we play music. The waxing and waning duration exercise is like, it was for me, is for all my adult students, total mind blower and game changer. It will change how, the amount of attention that you give into certain rhythmic durations, and just like the joy that you get from knowing that you're nailing something. I think it's helped me appreciate, and other adult students appreciate, even playing music that's, how can I say this, technically more simple, but then noticing, even though the notes on the page are the same, there's a huge window of how you can play it and how that will make something musically simple sound really, really good and really effective, or just simple. When I think about the sound formation and developing feel, I'm hesitant to use the word shortcut, but it sure feels that way sometimes. It definitely seems like a really clear path to just getting a good feel, which is, important for the music sounding good, it's important for our music listeners, and it's important for our musicians just to have that emotional exchange with the instrument and the other people that they're playing with and for. So I think it's a big game changer. No, I can say that the sound formation has never made these intangible things like feel, groove, swing, it's the most clear way that I could imagine learning the information and teaching the information. I've heard other musicians that I admire speak about it, but it's in this very ethereal way. It's this very reach out, reach in to find this feel. It's nice to have a roadmap. For that journey. Yeah, I'd say so. I haven't heard anybody else be able to explain it, and to give me the vocabulary to explain it to others. Yeah, and I've worked really hard at trying to figure this music thing out, and sound formation method has helped a whole lot. I was explaining to somebody like in a lesson last night, like I mentioned the entrainment thing, and that sometimes you can play with the same group of talented musicians. Certain days, rather than others, things click or they don't click, right? And it could be because somebody didn't eat lunch that day, but it also could just be, you know, a unity between the whole group and ways to bring that out. I had a conversation with my stepdad, who's like a horsemanship trainer, and it's kind of like something that he talked about was like getting people's rhythm with the steps of their horse, being aware of the thing that they're riding, understand its breath and its stride and how you can move with it. If you move with it, it's better for you and the horse. If you don't, then yeah, you're gonna be uncomfortable and so are they. But as he was speaking through it, I was like, man, that is so similar with musicians and playing, either with a student or with a peer. And you can either decide to be conscious of their movement and to move with them, or you can stay unaware of it and just kind of wonder, why doesn't this feel great?